Hey there. Things are clearly a little bit different today, and with very good reason. We're here with a special milestone, and this is something to help celebrate for the show, for you, the community, and most importantly, for the one person who is brave enough to dive in, week out, and help us learn and explore the fantastic world of commerce. Today, our special guest is none other than Paula Macaggi herself. So we're going to be turning the tables and we're going to be exploring more about the story of OFFBounds. We're going to be exploring about how it started, how it's evolved, more about the industry, and a little bit of fun and plenty of surprises along the way as well. I'm Oliver Banks. I'm your special guest host. This is episode 100. Welcome to OFFBounds. Paula, welcome to your own show.
I know, it feels so weird. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. How does it feel to be turning the tables, to be taking the other side of the table today?
It feels weird. It feels weird, especially on my show. But you are such a pro. You have how many episodes on your show?
Well over 300 now, so yeah.
Yeah, so you have a lot of experience to do that role today.
Yeah, I know what it takes, and it's we'll be diving into that for sure. So it's a phenomenal milestone. So firstly, huge congratulations.
Thank you so
it's
much.
a real achievement. I thought we'd start by just letting you introduce yourself. Who is Paula? You know, where have you come from? How have you got to this moment in time?
I think never in my career I thought that this would be a thing in my life, you know? I was born in Brazil. I studied economics. I was thinking of my life like those being not a financial bro, but a financial girl, finance girl. But yeah, that didn't work out. I don't have the profile for that. Didn't like it. Moved to the US to learn English, moved to Europe. Never in my career I knew that this would be a thing, but I was always good in connecting with people and asking questions. I was always curious enough. And I think after I got my job at Rethink Retail, where we met, I got the appetite for hey, I actually think I should ask some questions too. And then OFFBounds came to life.
So yeah, tell us a little bit more about that moment. What was the spark that I suppose kicked off the very seed of idea for OFFBounds?
I think this is a very interesting story because it always starts from a leader that sees potential when you don't see it. And I had one leader at my previous job that was always you should be in front of the camera. And I was absolutely not. Look at my accent. Look what I'm doing. No, nobody wants to listen to me. It's yeah, they do. It's so I started touching a few interviews, hosting a few webinars, and I really liked it. And there was a moment that I felt I needed to give another step. And maybe staying at that job wasn't the right choice for me. So I started pitching the idea to a few people. Hey, I was thinking of starting my own business. This is how I'm imagining. And I got an investor. And once you get the money, then you have to deliver. And it was just not a dream project anymore. It was something that I needed to do. And that's how OFFBounds started. I started working on it in August 2023. So it's been 2.5 years, but it's been 2 years that we put first episode out.
Well, yeah, it was January 2024 that episode 1 came out. So
yeah,
it's been a marvelous journey. And I have to say, talent was obviously spotted very early on. So, it's a brilliant intervention that has led you to this point. Help me out with the goal. What were you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, so one thing that I noticed is that a lot of the podcasts in our industry, retail, they focus a lot on specific markets, which is fair, maybe just UK or maybe just Europe or maybe just US. But I'm such a global person, I lived all over the world. I travel so much. I was curious to know about other markets. I think we can learn so much from other markets. So I wanted to bring that to everyone. So what can you learn from someone in Sweden that could help your business in the US or any other country? So that was like basically the goal of going completely off bounds and challenging what the industry hasn't done before. So that's how Off Bounds was basically created. That was my mission, to connect the world.
So you gave us a little hint there. Where did the name OFFBounds come from?
Great question. I think like we were all thinking, I had an agency working with me. So we created this, I don't know, we were thinking like, what was I? Like first, like we were thinking about creating a media company, and then like, no, should be like Paula Macaggi's show. Paula Macaggi, like it should be attached to your personal profiles, your persona, so it becomes more personal. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And nothing I've done in my life was in boundaries. Everything was like, I was always like, I don't know, trying things out that were never the standard. So I think we came to the idea of out of bounds, but out of bounds is so in bounds. It's so normal. So we got a poetic license to say off bounds.
Yeah, and amazing.
Yeah, and nobody understood at first because like, is it a retail show? Why is it called Off Bounds? But I was like, believe me, I think like the brand is going to stick.
Yeah.
Because it's not so standard.
Yeah, and it absolutely has. And it's, having a unique word and name has led to your own benefit, right? Tell me about the moment where you realized that this idea had got enough pace, enough momentum, enough feedback to say, actually, you know what, this is really working. My goal is coming true.
I don't know. I think like for the first 6 months, it was like, I don't think this is going to work. Because like you're still proving yourself. I think like if you watch my first interviews, I wasn't really good at it. Like you have to be comfortable at sucking at something first until you get good. So, like just like my storytelling, I was always nervous interviewing guests. So I think like we started to evolve. And I remember we published the first episode like the week of NRF 2024. And the NRF 2025 was when I realized that it became popular because everybody was stopping me at the show and asking questions like, oh, I love your show. I love the episode, something like that. So I was like, oh, I don't have to prove myself anymore. People are realizing what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So that was my realization, I think.
And what's fantastic is as we fast forward now to NRF 2026, you're up for an award. Tell us a little bit more.
Like we got a Retail Voices. So NRF has this Retail Voices Award, which was it's 50 people, and I was included in one of them. So that's a big deal for me.
Really is.
And we are the finalists for the Communication Retail Voices for the VIP Awards. That's going to happen at NRF. Hopefully we're going to win, because then like it's different than like just a badge. You actually get a trophy. I have to go on the stage and take that picture. Like I'm really looking forward to show that to my parents.
Well, fingers crossed, and we'll all be wishing you plenty of luck.
Yeah, and then like after that, every episode we're gonna have the trophy. I
think that sounds excellent. Now we've had a number of different questions from members of the audience that I wanted to also ask you as well. So we'll kick off with, as we're starting to think about the beginning, Daniel was asking, what were the main concerns when sort of funding and scaling up OFFBounds?
Yeah, so I got the initial investment, and I needed to prove somehow that I could deliver results, right? Like, because when you get investors, they don't care if you're doing right or if you're doing wrong, as long as you bring the money. And I think like for everybody that starts a podcast as a business, which was my idea, you're always thinking about the sponsorship. Oh, of course they're going to want to sponsor my episode with CEO X. But like, turns out that companies don't really want to sponsor. Like, they don't see much value. They want to be in the podcast, or they want to sponsor something else or do another type of content. And that's how I discovered the different sides of the business that I had no idea. But it's basically like the OFFBounds became our marketing channel. It's where we connect with our audience, it's where we connect with our audience. And then the business comes for the content that we produce for the tech companies. So I don't know, my first concern was always like, what can I do if nobody wants to sponsor it? And the second was, all right, we have a different business here than I first initiated, like that I first thought about. So now we're finally delivering results, which is good. Everybody's happy. Investor is happy. I'm happy. customers are happy, so that's good.
Yeah, very good. And, related to that, Ed was asking, based on everything that you know now, what would essentially episode 100, Paola, say to episode 1, Paola?
So my episode 1 was with the global CTO of Carrefour, a big name in one of the largest grocers in the world. I was so nervous. And then after a few episodes, I learned that they're much more nervous than I am. So I was like, you know what? You are in my show. I just changed the mindset. Like, hey, I know that you are afraid of me more than I'm afraid of you.
Yeah.
So now I think I'm much more confident at asking questions and challenging and creating this story, and more people want to come to the podcast. So I think that was the biggest learning. I would say to episode 1, Paula, don't be nervous. They're afraid of you. So that was my biggest learning so far.
Yeah, but what's fantastic is you put people at ease so easily into the show. So watching the episodes, you can see people just get comfortable, and then the conversation can really get it going. So
I feel
that's a real skill.
Yeah, and that's natural, I do that with everyone, maybe even with people that I shouldn't. But yeah, I don't know. I just have this skill, I think, that is natural, of chatting as if we're friends.
Yeah. Fantastic. So Katerina was asking, what piece of advice or perhaps feedback have you had over those 100 episodes that's genuinely shifted how or what you do?
Interesting question. I had a lot of feedback. They were all unsolicited, which is nice. So you took their time to send some feedbacks. There was one guy that said I love the episodes where you come with the problem and then you you end with the solution. And I was like, that's a very good feedback. Because they were there's the premiumization pod episode that we did that was basically telling, this is what's happening in the industry, this is how the industry is solving it, and this is what the future is. So I'm trying to do more of those episodes, which is not just an interview episode. It's more almost like a keynote.
Yeah,
of people. Yeah,
a bit like a documentary in a way, in terms of you're exploring and peeling the onion of a particular topic.
Yeah, so, next week, which is our first episode of our third season in 2026, we're going to talk about the rise of brand memberships, which is different than loyalty. So say I'm trying to bring more of that as the audience is requesting.
Yeah, super. Ricardo was asking, the number one tip that you have to share with other podcasters or content creators?
Well, the only easy thing to do in a podcast is listen to it. You know that, right? I don't think people realize how much work it takes.
Yeah, it's a huge
amount. And
I
think you listen to a podcast and if you see people just chatting at ease as they are friends, and you think that nobody's prepared there. Nobody has prepared anything. But it takes a lot of preparation. You have to understand the business you are talking to. You have to create a story. You have to have you don't have to follow strictly a script, but you have to have a story in mind that you're telling. Otherwise, your podcast won't have beginning, middle, and end. And so I think first, ask yourself, why do you want a podcast? Are you willing to do the work? Because if it's just to have, or are you going to be consistent? Because consistency is key. I have an episode every Tuesday out, and your audience needs to count that they're going to have that episode. You can just whenever you feel like.
Yeah.
So I think these are my keywords. What are yours? I'm curious.
That's a great question. I think listening back to it is so important for self-reflection and learning. I remember quite early on, I learned a huge amount about the pattern of my speech, how I put little filler words in, for example, and that allows you to improve over time. So I think it's incredibly uncomfortable for the first few times listening to yourself, because you can only hear why did I say that? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a great tip for sure.
Yeah, I kind of do not like to watch myself, but I'm doing that. But but I think I'm getting used to it. I just see myself. I think I'm not used to see the new wrinkles that I see on the screen, like the new things that I'm like, oh my God, I already have that. I don't realize.
It's a nice record of evolution, I suppose.
That's
isn't
true.
it?
That's true. Yeah.
Kiri was asking about what's the hardest part.
The hardest? So I decided to do, I think, like the hardest type of podcast possible. The hardest and the most expensive, which is I travel around the world asking questions to the leaders from around the world.
Yeah.
In person, on video. So it takes a lot of time searching for studios, jet lag, traveling. Like there was one time that I was in Singapore and I had 6 interviews that week.
Ooh.
But it was so jet lag, I couldn't sleep for like 10 days. I was miserable. And yet you have to sound professional. You have to sound, I don't know, smart enough, like I was using the only 2 neurons that I had left to make sure that I could deliver a lot of content.
Yeah, well, it's the toll, right? And it's that resilience to keep going.
I like it's having like an episode every week.
Yeah.
Like you can't skip it.
Yeah.
You can't just like, oh, I don't feel like it. So your life might be weird, but you still have to have that episode that week. What you're gonna do,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's shift it up a bit. You've mentioned traveling a couple of times. You see all parts of the world, and Ian was actually asking, how has all of that travel evolved your view of retail?
Funny question. I think I have many different, I think like for every trip that I do, I change my view a little bit, and I think that's the most important part of traveling because it changes your perspective. And this is what I try to bring to the podcast. I don't know, I think Asia for me is such a interesting market, and I think you can see that some trends happening there that eventually will come here.
Yep.
But I feel
Brandon was asking about that actually. Tell us perhaps, for example, one of those trends that you see coming over.
Well, I think quick delivery, but super quick delivery, not 2 hours delivery or not 30 minutes delivery. We're talking about 10 minutes. This is happening in India, of course. They have a specific market, very concentrated, which I think could work potentially in the UK. But it's not quick delivery of food. We're talking about fashion. I just bought a Hugo Boss blazer that is going to arrive in 10 minutes. Isn't that exciting? There's also one podcast that was super nice with Xiaoming. He's they basically created the model of dark store model where you have delivery of grocery. And after he came to the podcast, he spoke in the US, he spoke twice in the UK. Everybody's interested in hearing. But they give the power to the AI to make the decisions. So we are so into, AI is not going to tell us what to do. We're going to tell AI what to do. But they actually think the opposite. AI is going to tell us what to do. And then we do it.
That's a really interesting shift around, isn't it? In terms of just a different mindset, actually.
Yeah. And I think, isn't it fantastic? I don't know if this is going to if this concept's gonna come here, but I think it's very interesting to create a perspective to every business. If this is working somewhere else, could it work here?
Yeah. So thinking about shift of mindset, Shisha was asking about perhaps a particular belief that you've had that has changed during the course of these 100 fantastic episodes.
An idea?
Could be anything. Could be a belief about the sector, about technology, about leadership, about yourself, perhaps?
Well, I think I've changed many things. I think, as I said, for every episode, I change a little bit. But I had a few guests that, I don't know, I think all of the guests said that they look for curiosity. The curiosity is the biggest component for a successful career. And I never thought about that before the show. Thinking that our team, Leah, one of the things that I love about her is that she's curious.
Yeah.
So I talk about, I just went to M&S and I saw something super cool at the checkout, and she'll look for it. I think that's a component that I really appreciate in people. And every guest that I had, and we are talking about C-level executives, they are all curious.
Yeah.
So I think curiosity is actually what makes someone successful in their career. If whatever successful means to you. Yeah.
Fully on board with that one. So we've got a couple of things to do, but I wanted to rattle through a bit of a quick fire round.
All right.
So a bunch of questions, no thinking, no explanations needed. Ready?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's see.
Your favorite retailer or shop?
That's so hard. I would say Selfridges.
What first excited you about the world of commerce and retail?
I think I love experiences. I find fascinating how people can be creative with experiences.
Love it. Best city in the world?
New York.
Your favorite meal?
It's very Brazilian. Just put rice, beans, and anything else. That's it. Give me rice and beans. That's what I need for living.
The most exciting retail trend right now?
I love the membership, community building, in-person events. I think brands are becoming more and more hospitable, and I'm loving seeing that.
What book are you reading right now?
I'm reading 1929, which is a very interesting read. I'm living in the financial district in New York, so everything happens around there.
Yeah.
But 100 years ago.
Okay.
So that's a good book.
Very good. Yeah. Your biggest achievement?
Well, definitely 100 episodes.
I was hoping you'd say that.
100 episodes in a podcast, yeah.
The funniest in-show moment?
It was off the records. It was we were not recording, but I invited this CDO in this big city, and we went to the studio, and the studio smelled so much like weed. So I'm not saying that we did the episode high, but it was definitely uncomfortable.
Who is your dream guest to welcome to OFFBounds?
I would love to interview the CEO of Abercrombie, Fran. I think she did a fantastic job. She is very tough guest to get, but she's going to be an app, so I'm excited to watch her. She would be probably the number one at the moment.
Can you describe OFFBounds in one word?
Challenging.
Challenging?
I think I challenge myself doing that every day, but I also challenge the guests of thinking from different perspectives.
Yeah, okay, I love it. Yeah, no, that's nice. And helping the listeners to get a different perspective
we
on
talk a lot
everything.
about in technology and innovation. If you're not challenging your current ways of working, how are you going to innovate?
And
so I think this is what I try to bring, I guess.
Yeah. So that was our little quick fire round, and I've got one other big question to ask you as well. But given it is episode 100, I actually bought a little gift for you.
No.
If that's okay. So I wanted
Merry Christmas.
to give you a little gift. To say congratulations.
Thank you.
And a massive well done. It's really something incredible.
I'm curious. Wow. So for the ones that are listening to us, I just got and there's a message. 100 episodes, what an achievement. Thank you. This is wonderful. Wait, I'm gonna take it to all the countries I'm gonna visit.
There we go. That can sit there next to this trophy that you're gonna win.
Amazing, I love this. I'm gonna put it here.
So, 100 episodes is a massive milestone for sure. And I just wanted to wrap up this episode asking about where you see the future going. What is it you're wanting to achieve as we embark on episode 101, episode 200, episode 1000?
I think podcasting has evolved a lot, and I think we are evolving with it. You see more and more podcasts coming to studios and recording in person, and I think we are getting to a more creative spot with OFFBounds. So we have a few episodes where I'm gonna be wearing a pajama. Yeah, it's coming in a few weeks. We're gonna be showcasing more products and what people are actually talking about. But I'm really looking forward to learning more about the next tier of innovation, the next generation of innovation that is coming along with AI, but also how are you humanizing your experiences as AI is being so predominant. So I think it's that, and there's the World Cup in 2026. And I don't care about football, soccer, whatever you call it. Like, I don't follow it day by day. But I'm a monster when it comes to World Cup, and Brazil's going to win. So I might have to do every show with a Brazilian jersey.
Perhaps we theme in Brazil's opponent to explore retail around the world.
That's true. That's a great idea. Oliver, you're hired.
The longer the run goes, the more episodes you get.
Absolutely. I love that.
Oh, well, that sounds amazing. I can't wait. It's I've said it a couple of times. It's a fantastic milestone to have reached. You put so much energy, and on behalf of everyone listening and watching, I just want to say thank you so much for putting so much into our brilliant industry. It's really appreciated.
Thank you so much, Ali, and same for you. Like, your show has inspired all of us. You are the GOAT.
That's very kind. So I just wanted to wrap this session up. It's been a brilliant conversation to find out more about you, more about OFFBounds, more about your perspectives. There's loads more questions that I'm sure we could to dive into, and perhaps we can take it onto LinkedIn and get more audience involvement as well.
Yeah, and then like we have episode 200 and 300, you know.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for 100 episodes. Thank you for inviting me to be a special guest host, and congratulations. That's episode 100 in the bag.
Thank you. Let's celebrate.